Welcome to Bloomington Today. I'm Kaylin Cockrell. Thanks for joining us. On January 31st, a Bloomington resident was killed in a townhome fire. This is the first fire death in the city since 2005, and Fire Chief Yuli Seal says it's one too many.
In many cases, people have gone and looked for the source of the smoke or looked for the source of the fire. And generally what that does is slow down their response because they don't call right away. So that slows us down getting there, and if there is in fact actually a fire, then that fire builds that much more while those people are looking for it or trying to figure out what the problem is.
Bloomington fire crews were able to keep this blaze in the Georgetown townhome development from spreading to adjoining townhouses. Authorities believe the fire began in the basement. Unfortunately, once the working smoke alarm sounded, one of the two residents inside did not evacuate.
This fatality was unfortunate in the sense that the person could have easily escaped, but they chose to stay and fight the fire. And one thing that is hard for people to believe and understand is how quickly a fire grows. And that putting a fire out is not quite as easy as just throwing water at flames. Because the visible flames you may see may be separated or apart from the actual seat of the fire.
According to a study done by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, on average in the U.S., someone died in a fire every 169 minutes in 2010, and someone was injured every 30 minutes. Chief Seal would like to urge residents to be prepared today rather than wait until a tragedy like this hits close to home.
The recent fire fatality we had, I think, should remind people to have a plan, exercise those plans, make sure their smoke detectors work, make sure they have an escape plan. The other piece to that I think is very important is that staying and fighting a fire by yourself is not a good part of that plan, that they need to exit and get out of the structure, save your lives, your possessions can be replaced. And just as important is that if you have questions, either about a plan, about smoke detectors, about any issues, call the fire department. We're here to provide you information. We can provide you information. We can provide you assistance and answer your questions.
If you would like additional fire safety information, whether it's about escape plans, smoke detectors, or anything else, please do not hesitate to contact the Bloomington Fire Department. They can be reached at 952-563-4801. Warm weather is causing poor ice conditions at the city's 15 outdoor rinks and has forced park and recreation staff to shut down the rinks and warming houses several times during this winter. We can thank unseasonably high temperatures for a lack of participation in area outdoor rinks this year. As of early February, maintenance crews stopped cleaning and flooding the city's rinks. Mid-February, maintenance was back on. Who knows what the rest of the winter will bring.
Well, this winter has caused us to have to adapt to the weather conditions and get out and make ice as best we can when the weather cooperates.
And skating rinks aren't the only place that the ice is thinning. Area lakes are becoming dangerous as they begin to thaw quite a bit earlier than years past.
The City of Bloomington does not monitor any of the water bodies for ice thickness or the safety of the ice. The only thing that we do is put up some warning signs to warn residents or park users that there is a body of water there and that the ice may not be safe.
According to the Minnesota DNR, there is no sure way to ever guarantee the ice is safe. Ice strength is determined by a number of things, some of those including depth of the water, size of the water body, and local climate, just to name a few.
Well, as a lifelong resident of Minnesota and an avid ice fisherman, I know from experience that the ice thickness can vary. It seldom freezes at the same rate, and it can be a foot thick in one spot and just a little ways away it can only be inches.
If the ice is less than 2 inches thick, stay off. 4 inches can be safe to ice fish or walk on, 5 inches to snowmobile or ATV, 8 to 12 inches is often okay to drive a small truck or car onto the ice, and 12 to 15 inches is the required thickness for a medium truck on the ice. Hansen suggests being safe so you don't end up being sorry. The Minnesota DNR's website has plenty of other information available, including tips about traveling on ice, making a survival plan, and escaping your vehicle if it should ever fall through the ice. But again, like Hansen said, the only sure way to make sure the ice is safe is simply to stay off of it. And with all the warming temperatures, it's not hard to imagine summer being right around the corner, even though it's only February. And crews at the Bloomington Family Aquatic Center are busy reconstructing the new bathhouse so that when summer comes and the aquatic center looks like this again, it'll be ready for you. The scene back in December illustrated full demolition work underway. There was no floor, exposed pipes, and gutted locker and restroom areas inside the bathhouse. As of mid-February, the scene looks drastically different. Demolition work and interior masonry work is now complete. The center skylights have been installed and about half the plumbing has been finished. On this particular day, contractors gathered with Assistant Maintenance Superintendent Jim Eiler to take a look at a mock-up sample of the intricate tiling that is set to go up in the new central corridor. Eiler says the project is a little under half complete. The new admissions counter, along with tile and plaster work, are next on the agenda for crews. Eiler also noted that the bathhouse renovation is on schedule and within budget. The bathhouse is scheduled to be completed in May, in time for the Bloomington Family Aquatic Center's 2012 opening. And speaking of the season opening, City Parks and Recreation staff are urging residents to buy their passes to the pool early and save a few dollars. Purchase your Bloomington Family Aquatic Center season pass before April 13th and receive $2 off. If you bring in your old pass to be reactivated, you get an additional $1 off. Passes are sold at the Parks and Recreation counter at Civic Plaza beginning next month. Well, you've been hearing the phrase "do town" and learning about what it means now that the cities of Bloomington, Edina, and Richfield are do towns. And now this partnership with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Minnesota has hit social media. City staff is inviting residents to like the Do Town Bloomington, Edina, Richfield Facebook page. This page is yet another way to transmit information about upcoming events, healthy living tips, and more. Do Town is designed to improve the health of residents by making adjustments to city policies and systems so that our surroundings give people more ways to eat right and stay active. The late September kickoff featured a presentation and a walk around Normandale Lake, led by the 3 mayors and Blue Cross Blue Shield's well-known Do Groove guy. The city has already embarked on several healthy initiatives, including bike trail and bike lane updates, community gardens, and weekly farmers markets, just to name a few. Over the course of the next 18 months, there'll be more opportunities for residents to eat right, stay active, and create healthier homes, workplaces, and schools. And to be sure you know about every healthy promotion and event happening in and around your community, like the Do Town page on Facebook, as well as the City of Bloomington's. And if you aren't convinced yet that there is a place for you on social media, take a look at this video, produced by the City of Bloomington's communications staff, encouraging you to become a fan or follower.
Where do I communicate?
I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, That's where you can reach me.
City information delivered to you.
I like the idea of important city news and events coming straight to me, wherever I am.
This video was created by Grant Parker. He's one of the communications staff here at the city back in February of last year, shortly after the city of Bloomington entered the world of social media via Facebook and Twitter. The numbers provided are a bit different today, just over a year later. The city's Facebook page has more than 600 fans to date, and 346 people are following the city's page on Twitter. Those numbers are great, but we want more. Become a fan or follower by accessing Facebook and Twitter right from the city's homepage. It's now time for a short break. When we come back, we'll find out what's in store for residents attending the 2012 Home Improvement Fair. Stay right here.
Explore new worlds. Read. Visit literacy.gov and let the journey begin.
How you doing? I just want a regular, no sugar today.
You got it.
Thanks. Hello.
Hi.
Did you eat that whole thing today?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, how are you doing?
She's getting big, huh?
Good. Yeah, she is big. Hey, haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks cute. Come on, let's go. Nice to see you. Thanks a lot.
If only child abuse were this easy to recognize. If you even suspect abuse, call 1-800-4-A-CHILD. All calls are anonymous and confidential. Trust your instincts.
Welcome back to Bloomington Today. We are now pleased to be joined by Brian Hartman. Brian is the Housing and Redevelopment Authority Program Manager here with the City of Bloomington. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you very much.
Well, every other year the city hosts a huge event that literally takes over Civic Plaza, and that is the Home Improvement Fair. Why don't you tell us a bit about that upcoming fair?
Well, thank you for having me here today, and it's really an exciting event. Like you said, we do it every other year in the even years, so this being 2012, it's time for Home Improvement Fair. And it's on the 25th, and we'll have over 60 home improvement vendors that will be representative of all sorts of different building trades, windows, siding, landscapers, all sorts of different opportunities for people to learn about what they can do with their home.
Wow, so it's almost like state fair style booths set up, and you can go from one to the other learning these different tricks of the trades.
Right, it's very much like a professionally run trade show. We do it here and it fills up the whole city hall. It's really a nice event, and people can have a good time and learn a bunch of stuff and hopefully want to improve their house.
Okay, great. Well, you had mentioned that the fair is February 25th. What are the times that we're looking at there, and can just anyone show up, or how does that work?
Everybody's welcome to attend. It's free admission, and it's from 9:30 in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon on Saturday the 25th. Again, it's at Civic Plaza. We take over the whole building. We fill up every inch of space with booths and vendors and other things, so it's really a good event.
Wonderful. Well, there are different how-to seminars that take place at the fair. We also have a keynote speaker, which we'll talk about in just a second. But why don't you describe to us some of the how-to things that we're getting into this year?
One of the best parts of the fair is our how-to seminars. We have 16 of them this year, and these are put on by primarily the vendors that come to our shows. They'll come and do a specific topic, like windows. You know, what does it take to replace a window in your house? Kitchen design, what's a good kitchen design for entertaining, or if you're a gourmet cook, we're going to have a session on that. We also have one on how to incorporate glass into your house, not just window pane glass, but art glass. I mean, countertops or backsplashes, and they are extremely talented artists that will be doing that presentation.
Wow. Well, the keynote speaker that I just mentioned, why don't you tell us a bit about who will be stopping by Civic Plaza for this event?
Yeah, we're really excited to have Bill Blisseth, the organizing guy, come do 2 shows. They're going to be the same show. He's going to do them twice, one at 10:30 and one at 12:30. And he's going to talk about how you can get your house organized for your project. I mean, so many of us have that closet or that part of our house where maybe isn't as organized, where you just kind of toss stuff. He's going to talk about the steps you can take to get those things organized before you make the next step into remodeling your kitchen, that sort of thing. So it makes sense to organize before you do your remodeling project. He's really funny, entertaining. It's going to be fast-paced, lively, and people are going to have a lot of fun at that. So I really encourage people to stop by to see one of his shows.
Wonderful. The city has begun to make a huge push towards sustainability in recent years. What does the home fair offer to residents trying to, take those same steps?
Well, this is the true essence of sustainability, to take that existing structure, that home that you already own, and improve it in some way without replacing it. So you're using that entire structure, to its best. Maybe improving it, taking out a wall, putting a new window, siding, roofing, whatever it might be, in order to make it to last a lot longer, another 20 years or what. So it's much more sustainable in that way, instead of tearing it down and building new, which of course would be very expensive for anybody to do.
Mm-hmm. So really just building on what you already have.
Right, building and improving it.
Absolutely. Well, hundreds of people showed up for the 2010 Home Improvement Fair. Tell us who exactly can stand to benefit from something like this?
Well, we really want every homeowner in Bloomington to come. We got over almost 2,000 people last time to come to the show, and we're hoping for a better turnout this time. It's really a great opportunity here, local, in your neighborhood, to come talk to vendors, remodelers that work in the neighborhood with you. So it's a great local event for all those Bloomington residents.
And it's free.
And it's free.
And it's free. Finally, you don't have to leave your kids at home for this one, contrary to what you might think,
Right.
What kind of events are in the lineup for our younger handy men or handy women?
Well, that's a great question. So many of the homeowners, the new homeowners in Bloomington, are young families, and they have children, and it's expensive to get sitters, so we want you to bring your kids along with you. We've got some entertainment for them. Home Depot does their workshop where they can build a birdhouse or some other type of thing. We'll have a big setup for that. That's really neat. Kids like that. We'll have Germ City, which is put on by our Environmental Health Division, which is a way for kids to learn about proper hand washing by seeing kind of pretend germs under black lights. It's kind of cool. And we also have the Wood Lake Nature Center coming, and they are going to bring a variety of different animals, snakes, turtles, that sort of thing, so kids can have fun looking at that while mom and dad are looking at roofing or siding, which may not be too exciting for the kids.
Something for everyone.
Something for everyone.
Well, again, we'd like to thank Brian for being here today. The Home Fair for 2012 is scheduled for Saturday, February 25th, and this free event will run from 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. right here at Civic Plaza. If you'd like any more details on that, just log on to the city's website and keyword search Home Fair. It's now time for a short break. We'll be right back.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel scared. Sometimes my parents have to take me to the hospital. I feel like a fish with no water.
You know how to react to their asthma attacks. Here's how to prevent them. Call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS. Visit www.noattacks.org or call your doctor. Because even one attack is one too many.
Nice.
Hey, guys. Ooh, I've been looking for that. Has legal seen this?
Yeah. Cheryl, what happened to your,
Oh, yeah, I know. If it gets any worse, I'll have it checked out.
Worse? How could it get worse?
Yeah, maybe we should call somebody?
I'm fine.
You wouldn't ignore this, so why ignore the signs of a stroke? At the first warning signs, call 911 immediately, because time lost is brain lost.
Welcome back to Bloomington Today. An environmental service by the Metropolitan Council is targeting hundreds of water bodies around the Twin Cities, 3 of which are in Bloomington, for water monitoring. The Citizen Assisted Monitoring Program, or CAMP for short, is looking for your help. Bush Lake, Normandale Lake, and Lower Penn Lake have been selected for monitoring this year. Volunteers will be instructed on a bi-weekly basis from April to October to collect a surface water sample for lab analysis. Lab work looks for phosphorus, nitrogen, and chlorophyll levels in the lakes, which in turn provides information about the lake's physical and recreational condition. Thanks to camp volunteers, 185 lakes were monitored around the metro area in 2010. If you're a resident interested in learning more, the 9 Mile Creek Watershed District is holding a camp information night on Wednesday, February 22nd from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Bloomington REI, located at 750 West American Boulevard. And in an effort to encourage leadership in our area youth, Bloomington Human Services is proud to sponsor an upcoming retreat designed to do just that. Young people between the ages of 15 and 21 are invited to learn new ways to empower dreams, bring out personal strength, and break out of their shells. On Friday, March 2nd from 3 p.m. to 8:30, Bloomington Civic Plaza will be the site of the Breakthrough Project. Clay, mixed media, paint, and breakout dance sessions will all be used to explore the personal strengths of the attendees. Former bullied teen Patrick Perez will also be on site to talk about his escape from peer pressure after finding breakdancing. Still not convinced this event might be for you or someone you know? Check this out.
You know, I know a lot of you have heard the phrase, if at first you don't succeed. No, if at first you don't succeed, change your approach.
Looks like it'll be fun. Pre-registration is required to attend this free event, and the deadline is Monday, February 20th. That's right around the corner. You can find registration forms on the city's website or in the main offices of Jefferson and Kennedy High Schools. If you have further questions about this year's Youth Leadership Workshop, contact Human Services at 952-563-4948. A well-known state demographer made a stop at Civic Plaza last month. A demographer is someone who studies human population and the effect it has on the world, such as death and birth rates. Tom Gillespie spoke with city staff and commissioners on January 31st in order to assist with better planning, development, and implementation of services for a changing community like Bloomington. Gillespie spoke about the ever-changing trends finding their way into Minnesota.
There are some trends that have been going on for a long time, and we've grown accustomed to them, and we know to expect them. And then there are other things that are happening right now that have literally never happened in the history of human societies, in the history of human civilization. So there are unique things, and in many ways this decade will be a unique decade in the future history of Bloomington, of Minnesota, of the United States, of the world.
Some trends Gillespie spoke about included race and ethnicity, the concept of urban sprawl, and the lengthened life expectancy of the average person today. All things that factor into the overall prosperity for the future. He also noted that officials must take action now in order to recognize areas with the potential for improvement. For example, things like accessibility to higher education, prison reform, and medical advancements. There are several opportunities to view this demographic presentation in its entirety on the Bloomington Channel 14. To check out a full list of show times, visit www.tbc14.org and click on Schedules. The first air date is set for February 23rd at 6 p.m. And that's all the time we have for today. To get more information on city projects, parks, road construction, and events, visit the city's website. To check out past Bloomington Today shows or other city productions, visit Bloomington's YouTube channel, accessible right from the city's homepage. That and so much more is online right now at www.ci.bloomington.mn.us. If Facebook or Twitter isn't your thing, sign up for eSubscribe to have updates sent right to your email or cell phone. This is Bloomington Today, a presentation of the City of Bloomington's Communications Division. I'm Kaylin Cockriel. Thanks so much for joining us.